ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 29, verse number 12. So in the first 11 verses we read about Krishna's playing the flute and then gopis hearing it and Nisamya tadananga vardhanam, Nisamya geetam tadananga vardhanam, their love overflooded and they ran to meet him, and some gopis were stopped by their relatives, so they could not go, And in the last two slokas we read about them, that what it really meant was that they had some impurity, so that got cleared up, and then they also reached. So now in this, King Parikshit raises a question. And before we read his question, if there is any other question? Yeah.
Radhe. So now Vishwanath Chakravarti explains that those impurities are not material because their bodies are completely spiritual. There's no material gunas in the spiritual world, especially not in Vrindavan. So what exactly is the nature of their impurities?
So purity or impurity is all relative. Yeah. Because they are just using the word gunamaya. So we are translating it as impurity. But they are saying Jahur Gunamaya Deha. So it's all comparative or relatively that we are calling it as inferior or superior or impure or pure. So the purest form of Priti or love is what is the definition given by Sri Rupa Goswami, which means Anukulyena Krishna Anusilanam. Simple. So Anusilanam means Sarva Dhatu Artha. Means this Dhatu Shila here refers to all activities. So all your activities, which means activities by body, by mind, by speech. Activities in your wakeful state, in your dream state. So all activities, all times, they are for Krishna and favorably, Anukulyena. Because Kamsa was also meditating on him all the time, dreaming the dream also. And with his body, speech, everything he was doing to harm him. So that is not bhakti. So this is what actually bhakti is. Means this is the purest form of bhakti. Actually bhakti is this only. But then it comes at different levels. Because the ashraya who has bhakti is called ashraya, the seat or the container of bhakti. So if that devotee is completely aligned with this definition, then that is the purest bhakti. But because that person is a living being, is a conscious being, and the conscious being also has thoughts, awareness and existence independent. And here in the material world, we are identifying with the body and we are bahirmukhas. So our training has been to act for the satisfaction of the body and mind, and not for Krishna. That is the meaning of bahirmukha. So now when you do sadhana and you understand it, try to shift your orientation to Krishna. So now it depends how much you shift. The complete shift is that pure bhakti. Anukulyena means 100%. But in between there are different stages. So that is what is called impurity, or inferior to that. So all this attempt is to show even this, why this thing was brought in, to show this point only. Why he made that there were Nitya Siddhas and Sadhan Siddhas, and among Sadhan Siddhas there were also two types. that they were able to go and meet him directly same time, and others were stopped. So then he is making a distinction that what was the cause. So basically what creates a difference between us and Krishna is this thing only, which means our wish to have some satisfaction for ourselves independent of him. That is the impurity. So that can be there when you have a material body or a spiritual body. So therefore he says Gunmaya Deha is, because even if you have a spiritual body, that's because you are a living being, you are a conscious being, you have your independence. Because if love has to be there, it is only when the two people are conscious being. Not that one is a machine or is a robot or something else. That is not love. So then it is you who have to act. But if you have any tinge of your own independently, so that is the impurity. So Bhagavatam's principle is also Advaitavad. Advaitavad is popular in the name of impersonal Brahman, but this is what Bhagavatam is speaking. Vadanti tattvadas tattvam is jnanam advayam. So this is the Advaya, because the reality is that we are actually not independent. Absolutely. But this is difficult to understand. If we are not independent, then why is that we get the result of our own karma? Because we are not independent. And if I am not independent, why shall I get it? It is the person who is controlling me should get it. But because we think like that. So it is actually consciousness. The problem is only with the consciousness, not with the action. Action is not important. Important is that what is driving that action. So that's why when you study Purvamimamsa, there is so much description of bhavana there, that Shabdi bhavana, Arthi bhavana. That bhavana is just to study that what is actually impelling you to do that.
Bhavana mane?
Bhavana means what inspires you to do. So similar word like bhava, bhavana, consciousness. So there Purvamimamsa is very important. Although you must have heard this is all this and that, but it is very important because Purvamimamsa is to train your mind to act according to injunction. And this bhakti is the topmost form of that. Although we say that Vedhi is inferior and Raganuga. So Raganuga is the highest form of Vedhi. This is the purest form, because in Vedhi your inspiration is coming from Vidhan, from injunction of the Shastra. And you do that, which is very good. And here you do it naturally. You do the same thing, but naturally. So it is the best Vedhi. So here you do it because you love to do it. You do the same. But so that's what the level of impurity and purity comes now, at this level. It is nothing to do with I have a material body or a physical, spiritual body or this or that. That, okay, one is that, well, I have been asked to do it, so I do it, but I really don't have my heart into it. So there is no fun in that. But that is better than being unshrinkhala, frivolous, indisciplined, unregulated. which is the situation at present in the society. You cannot tell anything to anybody, you're scared to speak one word because anybody can freak out now. At least on social media they can go and murder you. So this is complete indiscipline. And this will not give happiness to anybody. God knows this very well. You cannot be happy with this, which you can see. People think we are free and we are liberal, but they are all suffering. You hear their story, it's all story of suffering. They actually don't even know what is happiness. They have not even experienced what it feels like to be peaceful in your mind. That if you sit down for half an hour and your mind is actually peaceful, and how pleasurable is that, they don't have this experience. So what can we explain to them? We have to just go along with them. Yes, you are right. Otherwise they'll kill you because they are in majority. Just like in some religion, you speak one word against them and they're ready to chop your head off. So this is the situation at present. And this is being described here, that what it means actually to be with God. And what God really wants us to be. So this is His play. This is Krishna's play, otherwise there is no need for this material creation. Why does He create this? This question is asked all the time. So He has fun like this. He has released us like that, Visarjan. This is also called Visarjan. So Visarjan means creation, and Visarjan also means just dropping you. So he has dropped and he said, "Chalo bachcha, dekhte hain abhi kya karte ho." So these bachchas are happy that they think they have freedom now, And then he comes. So, Bala Nam Anusashanam. That's what it says. So, Parokshvado Vedoyam Bala Nam Anusashanam. So this Veda, it speaks in Paroksha. And what is the purpose? To discipline the children. Because if he tells directly, do this, do that, they won't do it. So then he comes with the tricks. This is his play. He's playing like that. He has fun. So then all these things come, and then there are other people who criticize this, that. So I was just reading somebody was writing, person from follower of Islam, criticizing all this. Just yesterday somebody sent me a link. So it's very easy to criticize this. Because the point was that what are your gods? Because you are saying that Muslims broke the temples, this, that. He says, why is that you need to protect God if he cannot protect himself? What kind of God is he? It's logical. So you go and pray to this God, he cannot protect even himself.
It is when you say to the opposite, say to the way, your God is so great, why do you always lose the war?
So this is the Leela of Bhagavan. So what is being described here is now what is the purest form of being with him. And this is what he wants, and this is what captures him. That's why it is called Samartha. Now you understand why this is called Samartha, and the other one is called Samanjasa. So Samanjasa means which is appropriate, proper, conventional, which no one will criticize. This is nice, religious, pious. And this is beyond that. So this is what captivates his heart. Because he understands that this person has absolutely dropped everything and is only for me. And the other person is worried about this rule, that rule, what the society will say. So that means he's making two parts. One is I am for Krishna, another is I have also my independence. I don't want to be criticized that I am immoral. So now you understand the impurity. You can call it impurity, inferior, but he's not saying I don't give a damn what people say, I will do everything to please Krishna. So that person doesn't do that. And he also has his thinking that after all these principles are also set up by God only. Because if that is not there, you cannot come to this level at all. But that is not the end. That is a means to reach this. Means this dharma is needed. Purva Mimamsa is needed. But Purva Mimamsa is not the end. The end is Uttar Mimamsa. But now people don't follow Purva Mimamsa, and therefore they don't understand Uttar Mimamsa. But they jump to Uttar Mimamsa directly, and they feel very elated that this Purva Mimamsa is useless, because Purva Mimamsa is refuted in Uttar Mimamsa. But to refute it, first you have to understand. If you want to go to the second floor, you have to go through the first floor. But you are saying, no, the first floor is not needed because I am living on second floor, so why do I have to go to first floor? So that is also logical. He says, why shall I bother about first floor when actually my goal is second floor? Right? Logic works like that. So why shall I bother about Purva Mimamsa when actually I have to be a devotee? And here it is given up. Tavat karmani kurvite na nirvidyate yavata. Krishna himself is saying it. So this is a difficult thing to understand, that on one side you say you give it up, other side you are saying you have to follow it. What is this? So there is a rule in Nyaya, and that is that apraptasya nishedho nasti. That you cannot deny something which is not there. You deny something which exists. If something does not exist, how do you deny it? So if you want to refute something, it should be there first. When Krishna says sarvadharman parityajya, then dharma should be there first. But here dharma is already given up. To begin with, it is not there, so what dharma are you going to give up and then become surrendered to him? This is the dilemma of the people. So it sounds very easy for them because they don't have it to begin with. But it's not really like that. So that's why it is so difficult to understand this bhakti, what to speak of following it. Because to follow something, you have to have understanding of it. If you are taking a road to reach there, you have to know this is the road. You don't even know whether it is this road or that road, whether I have to go straight or I have to take a left here. How will you reach there? So the problem is that we don't understand it, and then we don't follow it. But we are not ready to accept that we don't understand, because that's very humbling. That what you are saying, I don't understand bhakti. I am in this path for 25 years, 30 years. I am a senior devotee, and you are telling me now that I don't know this. So you must be too proud to talk like this. So you understand now what is the impurity and purity? Is it clear?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So this is the tattva.
So all activities should be for Krishna, but that also includes all moods, not just activities.
Everything.
Everything.
So this is called prime Advaitavad.
Huh?
There is a Keval Advaitavad the pure monism. And this is Kaivalya Advaitvad. Kaivalya ek prayojanam. Okay? They look similar. Okay? So now Parikshit Maharaj's question. So Sri Parikshit Uvacha, he said, Krishnam viduhu param kantam natu brahmataya mune gun pravaho paramastasam gunadhiyam katham. So King Parikshit asked question that, O Muni, O sage, these gopis, they knew Krishna only as their lover. Krishnam kantam param vidu. Param means only, nothing. They did not know him, he is Paramatma, he is Bhagavan, he is Brahman, none of these things. Or he is Deva, or he is anything more than a cowherd boy, basically. They did not know that. They knew that he is beautiful, but that cowherd boy is also beautiful, not only Devatas are beautiful. And he is a nice person, lovely, attractive, good flute player, dance, joke, can do many other things, gymnastics. So, they only knew him that much. They did not know anything that he has like some Aishwarya, means some divine person, or he is some avatar. There is so much, wish in people in spiritual life to prove themselves that they are Siddha Purusha, right? They are perfected being, and if you have more followers, then you are some kind of avatar, right? So this is very common, not only on the path of bhakti, but others also, in Gyan Marg also, yogi. So it's very common. And here we have the actual source of all avatars, Swam Bhagavan, and he is not known anything like that. And he is not making a simple, simplest effort to be known like that. He doesn't want to be known that. He is fed up to be known as avatar and worship and all that. So he doesn't want to be known as Brahman. So natu brahmataya mune. So the gopis did not know him that he is Brahman. What to speak that he is Paramatma, he is Bhagavan, none of these things. So the question is that these gopis who had gunadhiya, means their dhi, their concept, their understanding, their awareness, their knowledge of Krishna was that he is part of gunas like everyone else. So by thinking like this, how is that their flow of guna came to an end? Guna pravaha uparamastasam. Because if you want to become free from the gunas, then you have to meditate on something which is nirguna. Right? Tragunya Vishya Veda. Nistragunya Bhavarjuna. Krishna is saying that even Veda is Tragunya, three gunas. Leave this nirdvanda sattvastha. So you become nirdvandva, go beyond that. Right? And here they are only thinking of the gunas completely. Krishna, boy, young boy, beautiful boy, this, that. These are all gunas. So gunadhyam, so how is that they became free? Because the question was tameva paramatmanam jar buddhya visangata. That's why the word Paramatma is used there. Paramatma had another meaning, we saw that. But for common people, the word Paramatma, the Bhagavan word is not that popular. The more popular word is Paramatma and Brahman. So, tameva paramatmanam jar buddhyapi sangata jahur gunmayam deham sadhya prakshina bandhana, it was said. So, How is that they attained Paramatma when they are actually meditating on Him as their lover, which is Gun Buddhi, means thinking of within the gunas. Because the principle is that Rite Jnanat na Mukti. Attained Him means they became liberated. And Mukti is not possible without knowledge of Brahman or Bhagavan or Paramatma. This is the basic principle, Rite Jnanat na Mukti. Or Tameva Viditva Ati Mrityumeti. Only by knowing Him you transcend death. So they did not know Him. Him here means knowing Bhagavan, knowing Paramatma. So they did not know Krishna as Paramatma, they did not know Krishna as Bhagavan. So then how is it that they became free from the gunas of Prakriti? Or as it was said that they gave up Gunamaya Deha. So this is the question. So the question has to be understood clearly before we understand the answer. So is the commentary here by Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Tatratyanam Bahiranganam Keshanchin Mukhdarsnenaiva Hridayagatam Sandeham Alakshya Raja Swayam Shukavakyasya Abhipretam Artham Tat Prasadat Jananapi Tesham Sandeha Nivartanartham Eva Sandihana Ivaha Krishnamiti. So when Sri Parikshit was listening all this, he was not alone. There are many other people following different paths were sitting. So when he saw people around, then he realized that these people have doubts and they are not understanding. So on behalf of them, he is asking this question, although he himself does not have any doubt. So that's why he is called Parikshit, means who sees all around, who can understand the bhav, the mood. So therefore it says, Hridayagatam Sandeham Alakshya. So this doubt will be in the mind of those people who are following the path of Gyan Marg. They will certainly have this doubt. Those who are following the path of Yoga Marg, they will have this doubt. Those who are following the path of Karma Marg, they will also have this doubt. And there are many people who were sitting in that assembly like that. So therefore he poses this question on their behalf, and of course he cannot say I am asking on their behalf. He speaks as if he is asking it. So therefore he says Krishnam Vidu. So he says He Mune. So he is calling him as Muni, which here means Sarvagya or omniscient. Krishnam Paramatmanam api Param Parapurusham Kantam Swaramnam Vidu. That Krishna, although he is Paramatma, he is the Supreme Person, but they only knew him as their lover. Param can also means Parapurusha, means who is not their husband. Kantam Swaramnam Vidu. So this is how they thought of him. Brahmataya tu na vidu, na tu brahmataya mune. They did not think that he is transcendental person. He is avatar, he is Brahman. They did not think of him like that. So ato gunadhiyam krishnena saha viharamaiti gun vishayak buddhinam tasam gun pravahasya uparam katham. So therefore their buddhi, their mind, their thoughts with Krishna were that we are going to go and play with him, have picnic with him, enjoy with him. So that is all related to the gunas. It is not that we are going to go and do puja to him. We will do worship, we will fall at his feet, will listen some Bhagavad Gita from him, get purified, anything. They were not thinking that is anything like that. They were just going for a picnic. So it is completely just normal, nothing spiritual. So then how is that they became free from the gunas? This does not make any sense. So katham tamev viditva atimrityumeti, because it is said that only by knowing him that one can transcend death, or atmanam atmataya vichakshate ityadi shruti smriti vakyai paramatma jnanasyeva moksha prapkatva ukte. So it is stated in the Shruti and also in the Smriti or Puranas that only after attaining knowledge of Paramatma that one becomes mukta, not otherwise. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate. So it is by knowledge that one gets purified. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitam atmana. So only by jnana you destroy your ajnana, your ignorance. And what is the problem? The cause of all suffering is ajnana, avidya. So, but they did not have this jnana. So avidya, kam, karma, right? Avidya is that which brings material desires, and then because of that you are bound, and you have material thoughts, into material activities, you remain bound, and the solution is knowledge. So how this happened to them that they became free without knowledge? See the question. So now Sri Shuka Vacha, Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, Uktam purastadetatte chadyah siddhim yathagataha Disannapi Hrishikesham Kimutadhokshaja Priyaha. So when Sri Sukadeva Goswami heard this question, he was little irritated. Because after speaking 9 cantos and already into the 10th one, and then he's saying he's asking this stupid question. He is sleeping or he is disturbed because he did not eat. He is thirsty. He is not paying attention. What's the problem? So therefore he says, I already told this to you. Uktam purastadetatte. He says, you forgot? Chadya siddhim yathagata. What is that? I told you that how Shishupal attained moksha. This whole thing came in the 7th canto. And when Narada was describing this to Yudhishthira, so there it was said, Tasmad vairānubandhena nirvairena bhayenava snehat kamena vayanjat kathanchit nekshate prithak. It doesn't matter how you meditate on Krishna, whether vairānubandhena, thinking of him as your enemy, or nirvairena, without enmity, with fear, with affection, with kama, with material desire. He says, kathanchit nekshate prathak. He doesn't see the distinction. And gopya kamad bhayat kanso dveshat chadyadayo nirpaha sambandhat vrishne yuyam snehat bhaktya vayam vyuha. So Narada explained that gopis attained him with kama, kamsa by fear, chadya, Shishupal by dvesha, and Vrishnis and Pandavas by sneha and by bhakti, people like us, that is Sri Narada. So in what he is describing there, and we already studied that part, that how whichever way you fix your mind on Krishna, then it purifies you. So that's what he's saying here. Uktam purastade tatte chadyah siddhim yathagata dvishannapi hrishikesha. So what is Shishupal, how he attained? He said dvishannapi, although he had hatred for Krishna, but still he attained him. So he says kimut adhokshaja priya, then what to speak of gopis who are full of love for adhokshaja. So why would they not attain? If somebody could attain him who is not even acknowledging him as a normal human being, but thinks that he is to be killed. Shishupal, that's what he was thinking. That this guy is just a hoax, he's a cheater, he's tricking people, doing some magic. That's what he was saying and abusing him. So how is that he got liberated without any knowledge of Brahman or Paramatma, etc.? So he says if he could be liberated, if he could attain moksha, then what to speak of gopis who are thinking of him in the most conducive manner as their lover. So why would they not be liberated? So this is the first reply he gives. So Sri Vishnath Chakravarti श्रीमन मुनीन्द्रो अपि नायम वस्तुतो राज्यः प्रश्न इति मनसा जानन्नेव त्वमेव पृच्छन् मेधा शून्य एव असि इति तद्व्याजेन अभिज्ञान एव तान् भर्त्स्यनाः उक्तमिति. So just as Parikshit is smart to ask this question on behalf of other, Sukdev is also his guru, he is more smart, he understands what he is doing. So they both know. So he says, Munindra, he understood that this is not his question. He has asked so many nice questions, so I understand that he is clear. He has no such doubt, but he is asking on behalf of others. So therefore, knowingly, he is chastising him that you have no brain. Medha shunya. He says, you brainless fool. Why are you asking this question? Tadvyajena. So, by saying this, he is actually chastising the others. Because he cannot chastise the other people. So he is chastising those who have a doubt like this. So, tan bhartsyanaha. So that's his answer. He says Purastat. So earlier means Saptam Skanda in the 7th canto. Eva dushanapi dvesha lakshana pratikula bhavenapi yadi sayujyam labhyate tarhi kama lakshana anukulya bhavasya ka varta iti bhava. So the essence of the sloka is that if Shishupal could attain Sayujya moksha, Sayujya mukti by pratikul bhav, means adverse feeling towards Krishna in the form of dvesha, thinking of Krishna as his enemy, hatred, full of hatred for him, and still he attained Sayujya mukti. So then what to speak of gopis who have favorable mood, not antagonistic. Shishupal was antagonistic to Bhagavan Krishna, and gopis are very favorable. They want to have loving relationship, kama lakshan, anukul bhavasya, so that then why they would not attain moksha? So that's what Brahma also says, Esham ghosha nivasinam kim bhavan deva rateti, that even this Putana, Sadve Sadhive Putana Pisakala Tvame Deva Pita, Putana attained you. So what will you give to these people? Putana had antagonistic, inimical feeling, came to kill you, and you liberated her. So what will you give to these people? So this is saying that why it will not happen. So here it is said, Kimuta adhokshaja priya. And this adhokshaja priya, they are beloveds of adhokshaja, then they will certainly attain. So then he says Hrishikeshamiti. So the name used here for Krishna is Hrishikesha. So what is the significance? He says Nirupadhi kripaya swayam avtirya brahmadinam api hrishikair agrahyo api martyaloke param nichanam api hrishikeshu drishtahe swachintya shaktya vishay bhuto bhavati. So he says that he is Hrishikesha, which signifies that he is compassionate and his compassion is nirupadhi, means it is not because of some cause. So causeless compassion, unconditional compassion, and because of that he comes on earth himself. Although he is adhokshaja, means he is still commenting on Hrishikesh. Hrishikesh, he says that although he is not perceivable to the senses of people like Brahma, unless he wants to show himself, then even Brahma cannot see him. Right? When Brahma was born, then he was searching for the source of his appearance and he could not find him. He tried so hard, but he could not. So Hrishikair agrahyo api, that he is not perceivable by the senses of even the first person of this material world, and yet he comes here on earth. Brahma would not come here on earth, and if he came he would not touch the earth. He will stand up above and he will not spend a night here, for sure. Even if you tell him Dandinam ekam nivasina hari bhakti prajayate, he will not. So he didn't spend one night here. But still Krishna comes here on earth and he lives here among the most fallen people. Param nicha namapi. Hrishikeshu drishta, he becomes available, visible even to the lowest of being on earth. So by how? By swachintya shaktya vishay bhuto bhavati. So by his own inconceivable power, he becomes perceivable to the people of the material world. So tan uddhartum iti idamapi ekam tasya kripa aishwaryamiti bhava. And why he does that? He does this to uplift the people of this world. And this is the majesty of his grace. And these gopis, they are adhokshaja priya. So imastu adhokshajasya atindriyasya tasya priya priti vishayashra bhuta eva. So adhokshaja means who is beyond senses, atindriya, and they are the beloved of that person who cannot be perceived by common people. These gopis are so great that Krishna loves them, and they are the ashraya, they are the receptacle or container of his love. Atra agha siddhim yathagata iti pratyasannam aghasuram hitva viprakrishtas chadyo yadrishtantitas tena rajanam prati etat sarahasya. So this is a very interesting point which Sri Vishnath Chakravarti makes here. He says that why he is giving an example of Shishupal, which was described in 7th Canto. Why not example of Aghasura, which just happened few chapters before, chapter number 13. Right? That's what described Aghasura moksha. And then Brahma came. So why is not saying that just as Aghasura attained moksha, so yatha agham siddhim gata, he could have said that just like as Aghasura attained siddhi, he also came to swallow him, kill him like Shishupal wanted to kill him. So why gopis would not? Aghasura was not thinking Krishna is Bhagavan and he is meditating on him. He thought him as enemy. So why is giving example of Shishupal? So he says there is a big secret behind this. The secret is this. So chaddasyapi dveshabhinivesha udrekat munishap nibandhan gunmaya dehasya pramaha antaschinmaya parshad dehastu tasya anashvaro nityo vartate. So Aghasura did not have two bodies. Aghasura was Aghasura. And he was killed. Then the spark came out of him, right? And he entered, actually waited till Krishna came out from his body. Till then he was hanging in the sky. That's when Brahma got amazed. What is this light coming? Because it was so brilliant light. So he came out from his apartment to look at this light. Just like sometimes they have firecrackers, so you come out, see what is it. So it was like that. So he came out and he was amazed to see this. So he had only one body, but Shishupal had two bodies. Because Shishupal and Dantavakra, they were the Jaya and Vijay. So they had their eternal body, the Chinmay body, and then they had the material body which was covering them. So inside he was Jaya, outside he was Shishupal. Like you become a stage actor and you put some mask on your face. So inside you have your real face and outside people see your mask. So then somebody comes and hits you and throws away your mask. So then your real face comes out. So this is what Krishna did. So when Krishna killed Shishupal, so he basically separated the mask of Jaya. And then Jaya came out. So this example of Shishupal is being given here also because this also happened with gopis. And they had two. They had the Chinmay body and they had the Gunmay body. And the Gunmay body was removed and Chinmay remained. So he said, this is the secret. Why he said, Chaddadyo nirpayatha. So he said, Chaddasyapi dveshabhinivesha udrekat munishap nibandhan gunmaya devhasya upram. That Shishupal also, because he was deeply absorbed in Krishna out of hatred, just like gopis who were deeply absorbed in Krishna out of love. Dadhyu milita lochana, right? They meditated on him with closed eyes. So the body, which was Gunmaya Deha, which was a product of the curse of the Kumaras, so that body dropped. And the eternal body, Antas Chinmaya Parshad Dehastu Tasya Nashvaro Nityo. And inside was the Parshad Deha of the Jaya, and that is imperishable, eternal. So that continued. So what is the proof of this? So he says the proof is here in Bhāgavatam itself. So yaduktam Vishnu chakra hataham sau iti Vishnu chakrena hatam amha eva yayor natu tau iti siddhim gata. So he says that Vishnu chakra, when the chakra was released and he was killed, Vishnu chakra, Shishupala and Dantavakra were killed. So there it is not said that they were killed. He says Vishnu chakra hata amhasa, that their sins were killed, not that they were killed. So sins means sins which manifest in the form of the material body, or the curse which manifested, that was removed by the Sudarshan. So that's why it is called Sudarshan, because Sudarshan clears up, and then you can have nice darshan. So their impurity was released, and then they attained Siddhi. Evam yayor natu tau iti siddhim gata abhishtam gatim parasadatam prapta. And then they attained their parshada position, their position of being associate, which they were to begin with. And yaduktam, and this is also stated in Bhāgavatam, vairānubandha tivrena dhyanena achyut satmatam nitau punar hare parshvam jagmatur vishnu parshadav. So in 7.147 it is said that because of the intense thoughts of enmity, dhyanena achyuta satmatam, so by meditation on achyuta, these two, Shishupal and Dantavakra, they were again carried to the side of Vishnu Bhagavan, Jagmatur Vishnu Parsada, because they are associates, so they went back to their position. So there also it is described. So in the same way the gopis Gunamaya Deha was removed and the Chinmaya remained. So to indicate the example of Shishupal was given. So this is the end of this commentary. Any question on this?
Could you help me understand what this Sayujya, who attained the Sayujya Mukti here? Who attained the Sayujya Mukti? Because Chaitya and Dantavakra, they are Nitya Parshadas and they are always with Bhagavan. And the material body is just a body they have.
So he attained Sayujya and then he came out. First he attained, because it is shown that he entered into the body of Krishna. If you read the description, it will come actually in the 10th canto. When he killed him, then the light came out from him and he entered into the feet of Krishna. So that is the Sayujya part. And then from there he went back to his place. Malati.
But yesterday you explained that there's no such thing as two-in-one in case of the gopis. It's all a matter of bhava. So now if we apply it to this example, can we also say that in case of Shishupal, it's a matter of changing bhava?
Yeah, but Shishupal was also visible as Shishupal and not as Jaya. He was also seen, he also grew up, he was born and then grew up. So in him it was a little different. But idea is that they were two. That is the similarity.
So it would be completely wrong to say two-in-one.
Yeah, two-in-one, but in case of gopis we said that it is more the bhava. That's what is being described. Case of Priya.
Pranam Babaji Maharaj. It is more of a general question. When Shukadev Goswami was chastising Maharaj Parikshit as a brainless fool for asking the same question, again, for the benefit of others. I can only imagine that you must be annoyed with us asking the same questions over and over again. And that is what made me think, how come if we should present our questions and doubts to the Guru and we hear the answer over and over again, then why do these doubts still remain?
So first of all, I usually don't get annoyed. My annoyance comes when people are not able to formulate their question properly. That is most annoying to me. When they ramble. And then I have to ask them 3 times, so what is your question? What exactly is your question? So that's what really annoys me, that person is unable to put the question clearly. That means the person is not thinking very clearly before asking and just starts rambling whatever comes into the head. So that irritates me, for sure. Generally I don't show it. Because also it is my job to teach how to think clearly. I am not annoyed just for the sake of getting annoyed. It's just my habit that even if I talk to people, I want a clear statement and clear conversation. And if the other person is going here and there and rambling, I try to pin him down, make him think clearly. So I also teach people how to ask questions, so that you don't do this to someone else. And we should learn this, how to frame our thoughts clearly. It's an art of communication which is very helpful in our practical day-to-day life. We should be clear in our thinking and we should be able to put forth. So that's why sometimes I have told some people who are asking questions that please you write your question, don't ask. Because when they write, then they have to think more. He says, don't ask question, just write it down and send it in the chat. So this is just so that they are forced to think clearly. Because they are not going to write an essay there. When it comes to speaking, they start, you don't know where they are going, and I'm trying to focus on because I listen very carefully when somebody is asking question. Otherwise I will also get lost. But if you are hearing, and certain things have to be heard repeatedly to understand, because these subjects are not easy. Even I repeat many times the same thing again and again, and you may get annoyed. Why is he saying the same thing? He thinks we are fools, that we don't understand. But the reason I do it is so that it sinks in. Because sometimes we don't understand, and sometimes we don't understand and we think we understand. And there are certain things which I know that it is very difficult to understand, and you don't understand even if you think you understand. I know it very well. So then I go on hammering on the point so that it can sink in. So there is nothing wrong if you don't understand and you ask it again, that's fine. So don't worry about that. The important thing is to hear with attention and try to digest what is being said. The habit of some people is that they hear and then immediately their mind is running elsewhere. It's like a Google, like. So instead of hearing what I am saying and trying to digest that, ingest that, they are already thinking what question to ask. And that's not the purpose. So that is not good hearing. So try to stay with the subject and listen carefully and then raise questions on that. Okay, anyone else? Am I clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yes. Krishna Saran Baba.
Just one question on the way he glossed Adhoksaja Priya. He used this phrase, Priti Vishayashraya Bhuta. So the relationship between Vishaya and Ashraya there, is that a Dvandva Samas? Yeah?
No, not that. This is Priti Vishayasya Ashraya. Priti is the Vishaya, and they are the Ashraya of that. Sashti Tattva.
I see. I guess then I wonder, why does he bother writing the word Vishaya there?
Just clarification. Could have said Priti Ashraya.
Okay. Would it be impossible to read it as a Dvandva compound? Because so oftentimes those names with Priya in it are read both as Bahuvrihis and Tatpurush compounds. And I was wondering if he was trying to give both senses simultaneously.
So you will say Priti Vishaya and Priti Ashraya like that?
In other words, to say that them being Priya means that they're both the Ashraya of Priti and the Vishaya of Priti. Meaning the Vishaya of his Priti and the Ashraya of Priti for him.
Yeah, but because he's saying they are Priya. So
Yeah.
He's commenting on Priya.
Exactly.
Means they have love. So they are the Ashraya in that sense. That's what I say.
Okay.
Bhadra.
Yes, Babaji, pranams. My question is regarding the impurities of the gopis who remained in their houses, because my understanding is just to arrive to Braja and be in direct contact with Krishna, the devotee has already been free from anarthas. So, but these were really very elevated devotees, and they are still exhibiting this contamination. So I don't understand this very clearly. Could you please elaborate on that? Thank you.
Did you come to the class late by any chance?
Yes.
Okay, so you listened to the first half of the class. I talked on this point only.
Okay, great. Thank you, Babaji.
Sandeep.
Babaji, my question was on this 12th shloka, where this Tasam Gundhyam and Gun Prabhu comes. So that is only from the point of view of other people who are sitting when Parikshit is asking this?
That's how the commentator is saying.
Okay. But Parikshit is very clear that they are beyond Gunarana.
No, that's not the point. What is the question?
Question is, like, this question was posed by Parikshit in the commentary. It was said because of the other people who was the audience.
No, that is okay. I know that. What was the question I'm saying?
When he's saying this, they were in this gunas. So was it only because of them? But he was clear within that they are beyond gunas.
So you have not understood the question, and that's why I'm saying, what is the question here? So listen to the question which he asked. When I'm saying what is the
question is that they were thinking of him as a lover, and still they got the Paramgati.
Yeah, so why you're saying whether they are beyond guna or not beyond guna? That's not the question. He's not saying that they were material, so how they became transcendental. His question is that they were thinking of Krishna as a material or within the gunas or as a lover, not as Brahman, Paramatma. So how is that they became free from the gunas?
So I couldn't get this point.
Yeah, you have to understand the question, what the question is being raised. That's why I'm saying, what is the question? Okay? Stop.